Hello and welcome back to Starmade, my friends. We are on the Squadron server, and today we need a home. An astronaut like me, he needs a home somewhere in space where he can hang his coat and his hat and then relax all day. The plate on the community planet is a nice thing to have, but I want to dedicate that to something else. And so we need to work on a home. And I already worked on it. So that's what I mean by that. Let me show you some things I've done before. Because the new rail update that the new rail update kind of had me to change some things with the ship, because docking now works very differently, and if I want to have kind of good docking through all my builds, I needed to make some standards, and so I've built a standard docking port, kind of. We talked about that in our chat, and I saw some forum posts about that, and people that made a lot of ideas and how you could do it and all that stuff. I really like that, and I kind of set my head to this design. So having a rail docker on the right, the rail on the left, that I will have through all my docking ports, kind of, so that I can dock all my ships to all the docking ports on all my station ships or whatsoever, and they don't know, flip around, stand on their heads or something like that. So rail docker on the right, rail on the left, both point towards the inner tube. What I did here is I also set a camera. You can't see it, but I also set a camera behind the... Let me see, we can lighten that. Yeah, I set a camera behind the rail docker so I can see where I'm docking to. Fairly easy, nothing special here. I lost my small ship that I get around with. That's a bad thing, because there was a chest with a lot of stuff in it, and that's a big problem. You can see nothing else was done. I added some more turrets, but nothing special. I still have to make these one, but I promise you to do something else. So let's get rid of the lighting effect. And now we should fly to our new home. And I've made it convenient for us. We just need to, or I at least hope that we just need to fly straight ahead. That's at least how I got here. I flew straight backwards. Ah, there it is. Our new home comes into sight, and I'm working on that now for ages. Ages, I tell you. Since I removed the pirate station and started the new station up, kind of, I'm working on that, and it drives me crazy. It really drives me crazy, because we will take a look at that in a second. So one thing you can see is the big red cross on there. This is by the way, the size is, the radius I think is 450 meters. So the size at the moment is, I think, 1,200 meters in diameter. We will take a look at that in a second. This will be a big space station, shipyard, and all that all at once. And I hope it can bring the community in and do a marketplace in the middle or something like that. But back to the big red cross. You can see it. And this is a helper for me to see, yeah, how I have to dock inside of this docking port. I can fly towards it, and then I kind of align this camera I'm in with a with the dock. And then I should be able to go to this camera. And now you can see that I'm relatively close to being aligned with this docking port. So I will stop here. And now I just press that and we are docked. Let me show you. It's a bit, it's not very precise, but at least it helps me to get aligned with all that and all the stuff I have in here. So now we are docked to the station. We can get out of it. I'm still in the gravity of the ship. That's a good thing because it kind of transfers to the station when I'm getting out of here, and that's what I want. I have a hole at the moment in the ship. Before I had the small kind of bay here where I got to my small ship, but now I had to move that all. I still have to close the gaps here. Good. Let us activate the doors, and then we can go through this docking port into the station. You can see some experiments because that's another thing I want to do today. I want to make a bit of a rail system. We will go and do that in a second. But first, let me show you some stuff. You can see that I'm trying to make a huge dome shape. And I'm trying to fill that with blocks. And it's relatively easy at one point to get rid of 700,000 standard armor blocks. That's not very nice. I thought I would never be able to go through them all, but it's relatively easy. You can see it now has over nearly 520,000 blocks, but it works out. Problem is, I would like to use the build helper, but the build helper doesn't have a big enough radius for that, so I'm doing all the circles here by hand. All these circles are done by hand. And okay, I'm using the build helper circle. That works out, but I can't use the ellipsoid. That's what I wanted to use, but it doesn't work out. But again, circles work, so I can place all the blocks and then I have to fill it in. That's what I mean by I've done that by hand. Good. You can see I have a shop on here. Nothing in there at the moment. Energy systems, relatively high energy production. Not too much. I don't need so much at the moment. And on the other side I have another big kind of docking bay. Around here I want to have another, don't know, hangars for small ships and all that stuff that I will kind of work out later. First I want to finish the dome, and then I want to work with it and dig into it. It kind of the start of the whole thing seems to be, what is that? Is that a pirate? No, trading guild. I kind of want to have it at the moment relatively symmetrical, so I'm using the circles. Sometimes big circles are not very symmetrical, but if I only do 1/4 of the circle and use the axes here and mirror that to all the other sides, then it works out for me. So it is relatively symmetrical, and that's what I kind of want to finish. But after that I want to kind of break into the structure at different points. I want to put docking ports on it, so it in the end doesn't look symmetrical anymore. That's kind of the style I want to go with. A bit more of an industrial look. So I want to have towers on there with for, don't know, or under it. That would be more convenient, under it for fuel, rocket fuel, and all that stuff. On these four corners, you can see I want to have big turrets, and below that I want to have another set of, it's four big turrets, and then some small turrets below it to defend it. Most pirates spawn somewhere down here, so I want to arm the underside a lot more than the upper side. Good, people, but what I need today is, I need today a rail system. Because here are some modules I need to go to often, and I later want to extend the rail system to kind of in the middle, because in the middle I want to have something like a marketplace. Something like in Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where there's a marketplace kind of in the middle of the station, and everybody can come there and buy shit and all that stuff. And what we want to do is, we want to lay a track first up to here, and then later we need to kind of figure out how to make different stations, so that I can go to here and get out of here, or I can immediately go to there and go to the marketplace, something like that. So I made some tests with rails, because I only kind of took a look into the turret axes and all that stuff, the rails. That's where I wanted to go to, and so I made some tests how the rails work, and it's fairly easy. The only thing that I had to go to the specialists, Sven the Slayer, Gothic Farms on YouTube. There you can find the link in the description down below, for the speed enhancers. I have one speed enhancer on here, so that I can up the speed of the whole rail system. They are fairly slow when you start out, and that's kind of a bad thing, because it should be a bit faster at least. What I needed was the way to kind of turn around the rails, and if I want to call the rail car back and all that stuff, I needed to figure that out. This is easily done by buttons. So you can see here I have two buttons, I have two rails attached to them, and what you can do is you can just mark the rails, mark the buttons next to the rails, and what you then can do is just mark the buttons, mark the rails, and the rail will change accordingly to the rail you have set up next to it. So at the moment it is turned to run into that direction, so you can see the whole rail docker is in the end of the rail section we have here. Now we just press that button and it drives back, and we can turn that around. I only need one speed enhancer because there's kind of a percentage set. So with one speed enhancer connected to an activator, an activated activator, you kind of get the full speed enhancement as far as I got told. This is set up in this way, so you take the speed enhancer, mark, so activate that, mark all the rails, and mark an activator next to it, and then just activate the activator. That is everything. Do not connect this activator to the rails. That's a bad idea, because then this thing will undock. So what you need to do is activate this with C, then mark all the rails and mark the activator. Good thing. Okay, what we need to do now is lay out a long line of rails to there and then kind of connect all the stuff to it. So for now, that should be enough. I think at least. So we have these buttons that are connected to the rails as before, and these buttons are connected to the rails down here. So they are not connected here, but they are close to it, kind of. What that does is it changes the rail on the whole line. I hope at least. I didn't want to have all these crossing, these marker lines for the logic. So I tried if that would work to have two sets down there and up here to change that. I think that's a lot easier because it seems to work, and we will test that. Down here is the speed controller. Also a thing that I have to test if it stays loaded or something like that. I don't know. For people it could kind of get unloaded and then it could slow down. I'm not sure. We will have to ride it to test it. So to ride it we need to make a card, and let's close this off. I made the caution tape, and we will, don't know, have also lights or something on that. Made the caution lane so nobody steps on the rails and gets run over or something like that. Let's take this thing here, undock it, and then go and try to let's get out of it and call it back, because I need to build here. That seems to work. It is not very... Oh, that's a mistake I made there. That's a mistake. Oh, no. Yes, so we need to do something. Let us grab one more rail. It is set to this, and now we can just... Yeah, we might have to change the position of all these. I think, at one point. That's bad. Let us get in here. And we should also mark this, I think. So activate this, and then activate this. No. Activate this, and this. And on the end, we will just go and use the build mode to do that. So what we need now is we need to place a block down here and just get in here, and we need a way to sit. So we should make a small platform, maybe some wedges. It's so hard to make small things because small things always kind of tend to get big anyways, because you can see it here. Let us go into the gravity of the station. You can see it here. It is fairly huge. I might bring down the block underneath this thing so we can have another seat here. So let's sit down and press the button, and now we are slowly going towards the middle of the station. This is at least a lot more convenient than than having to go by foot, but it seems that that for some reason the speed controller does not work. We should take a look at that in a second. Good. Let's run back as long as we can. Get up. We can also just stand on there. What is happening? I'm still in the gravity of that thing here. Oh man, okay, then we can just fly back. Let us... Oh, see, that's what I mean. We can't run, we can't fly faster in the normal mode, so that's why I want to have a card for that. Bring it back. I hope it comes back to us now. Go into the build mode and let us break open the floor again and see where this whole shebang is. This is... It should work. It did before. Why doesn't it do it now? This is a speed controller. So I don't know. Let's get rid of that. It got faster, at least. It got faster. We will live with it and have a small card underneath that. Let's do the part on the other side, and then we will end the episode for today, because I'm running long and I don't want to bore you with a lot of silence. It's always a thing where I think now you have it, but in the end I don't have it, and that's bad. That's bad. We will do another ride, but I think still it is better to walk here, or to walk. It is better to use the rail than to use the... Are we sitting, by the way? Yes! See? I think it's better to use the rail than to use our own feet. Let's see if it's not really fast. but at least we can sit back and enjoy the ride. Good people. Yeah, let us end for today. I hope you liked the episode anyway. I'm still trying to get into the rails. So my first major project with the rails. Good people, I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then please leave a like and maybe comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And I hope to see you in the next video. See ya, guys.